Hey guys, Rob Swirman here, and if you're a returning visitor to my channel, thank you for watching, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. So today I want to record a quick screen capture video for you about the 5 tools that I am using to map out my year, to map out those to-dos and projects that are on the list, because I think that one of the conversations among entrepreneurs is always how do you stay consistent over a longer period of time, and how do you track your performance. How do you decide which task gets a priority? Well, over time I figured out the 5 tools that work for me, and I would like to share them with you today. So welcome to my wall calendar. This is my annual 2018 battle plan. And I like to call it like that because that's how I approach the year. I go to battle with every project and to-dos that I have on my list for this year. All the things that move my life and my business forward. So I have the conversation a lot with people, and I get asked, how do you stay productive? How do you get stuff done and keep an eye, a high level overview of all those little things that you need to do, and how do you accomplish them in the most effective way? Well, I love tools. I love to organize my life and my work schedule with tools like these, like a calendar, as you can see here. I also do keep a wall calendar on my wall. So it's an actual one where I use markers, but I use that for my personal life, where I mark down milestones of things that I need to do on a personal level. But for most of the part, I use online tools working in the cloud like these. These are super convenient, can be shared with people, you can include team members here, you can work in the same documentation. So here in front of us, we have the wall calendar, which gives you a high-level overview of the entire year, and that's super useful just to kind of have an idea of where you're at and what is coming. And what you see here is month by month, and on the right side here is a agenda. And these ones here, like red, yellow, and blue, they indicate end of Q1 vacation. So what that means is that I like to work towards a reward. I found, and I've experimented a lot with this, that if you don't have a reward, you can have a motivation to accomplish a goal. But if you don't have a reward, you don't give yourself something that you really want, usually you find yourself missing deadlines, or you find yourself stuck, or things take longer than you anticipated. So if you just really use a gun to the head approach, like if you can't miss this deadline, or you won't get that desired reward. And for me, it's traveling. I like to take my wife to a short vacation or little trip. Doesn't have to be anywhere exotic, but can just be a couple of days away on a nice trip, just to decompress, to relax, and to look forward to. So as you can see, I have here in April, Q1 vacation, Q2 vacation here in July, Q3 vacation, etc. So these are fixed. Every 3 months you work towards a reward. Can be anything. You can have something else that motivates you. But I highly recommend that you include that because now you have a greater motivation to accomplish those milestones. And then obviously, other colors can be used for other milestones. Now, with that said, let's jump into the other tools because all of these tools are interrelated. They all work together. So I'm going to show you how. So the next thing, what you want to do is you want to map out your milestones or your goals, for that matter, for a particular month or even for the entire year. And I like to use a template that I created called, I call it my battle plan. Here it is, project battle plan. And as you can see, I included quarter one, quarter two, three, and four. And these are just examples. I mean, it can be anything. But milestone one, for any new project or market that I enter, I do market research, and under market research um, includes competitor competitor analysis, and let's say niche market verification. I'm just giving examples here, guys. It can be anything. You probably know best what falls under each milestone. So the way that this works is if you work alone, accountable, which is you. So just add your initials here. What I like to do is I like to include a team member or somebody that holds you accountable, that once the work is done, you obviously want to have some feedback, or you want to have somebody else looking into the work, just making sure, consider it quality control. So here you can include somebody else, and you can obviously just add a team member. You can invite them to this project, because I'm using very simple Google Drive. So I can just invite anybody to work with me within this template, and I can mark it off. So by the time that you check off all your little to-dos, you will go over the milestone to review with your accountability partner. And very simple, open or completed. So right now, since everything is blank, what you want to do is simply mark everything open. So for whomever who is then working within this template knows that it's being worked on. And once it's completed, you change the color, obviously. So it's pretty straightforward. Here you can also use, again, different colors and indicate which is which, and that goes on and that goes on. And you can add some deadlines to this, but we will cover that later, how I do that. But the purpose of showing you this is to show you how I decide which projects I'm involved with. It could be one project which I then break down in different milestones, or it could be different goals that I'm including, because you may want to schedule your goals, and then under each goal it has, of course, many little other tasks that, if accomplished together, will make up that goal, right? So you can also do it like that. So the next thing you want to do is you want to determine which milestone or which goal or which task gets the priority, right? Because what I found is that most people will take decision based on how they feel. And usually what happens is that we tend to go after the small stuff first. But the small stuff is, of course, easiest to accomplish. But in most cases, it doesn't really move our business and our lives forward. It's just the easiest and the fastest thing to do. The hard stuff, the bigger projects, those are the ones that move 80% of your results. And I'm referring here to the Pareto law, which is, what are the 20% tasks that move 80% of your results, right? So in other words, what are the 20% major goals or tasks that you need to accomplish that will ultimately move 80% of your results? So we want to take the emotion out of this decision, and we simply want to use a project scoring template to determine which gets a priority and when. So moving on to the RISE project scoring tool, and I get my inspiration and knowledge from a lot of the books I read and people that I follow. So ultimately, I get my inspiration, and then I like to create these type of templates. So this is a project scoring tool that I picked up, and it kind of works like this. You have 4 categories right here: reach, impact, confidence, and effort. You fill out those blanks, and that will produce a score, right? And based on the score, we're going to give them a priority level. So the highest score gets the highest number, 1. So these are equal, so you could literally, 1 and 2, as you can see here. But then, then there's 4,800, so which is 3, 500 number 4, and 5 equals 50, right? I hope that makes sense, right? So the highest number gets the priority 1, and so on. Now, let me just jump into how this scoring works. These are obviously my projects here, as they are called project name. So you fill out the little projects that you have created in your project battle plan, right? You have determined which projects you need to be working on. And then you simply want to fill out these columns here. And under reach, it asks you how many customers will this project impact over a single quarter. And that is just your estimation. So for this example, I said 2,000. In this case, it's a webinar, finishing a new webinar. So I believe 2,000 people will be able to view my content. So that's what I write down, 2,000. And then I look at impact, and there the question is, how much will this project increase conversion rate with a customer when a customer encounters it? So massive is 3x, high 2x, medium 1x, low 0.5x, or minimal 0.25. So for this example, the webinar reach has 2,000, and I believe that it has a high impact on those people who are consuming the content. So I write down a 2. Now, confidence. How confident are you about, how confident are we about the optimistic estimates for reach, impact, and effort? So in other words, these 3 combined, how confident are you? And before I add a number here, let me also show you real quick what effort stands for. Effort stands for the estimate total amount of time for a project that one person or one team, depending on who is working on the project, but let's consider one person takes per month to finish the job. 0.5 stands for half a month, 1 stands for 1 month. You could do 0.25 if it's a quarter month, or 2 even for 2 months, or 1.5. I think you get the deal. So go ahead and fill this out, and then again, go back to confidence. What is the question? How confident do you feel about the reach, the impact, and the effort this particular project takes? And you will choose a score. Now, high confidence, 100%. Are you medium confident? Is 80%. Low confidence, 50%. Or is it a moonshot, 20%? A moonshot is really based on nothing. Like, you don't know. You have maybe never done this project before. You're just going to give it a try. You have no comparison in the effect that it's going to have when you release it to the market, right? So however you feel, however confident you feel about the project, you give it a number. And then all these combined will give you your right score. Let's say if I change this, let's do 1. You see, automatically this score will be changed. You see, so now where I normally organize this and prioritize this as number 1, now all of a sudden it moved to number 3. You see this score rise. So all these numbers are connected, and the template does the calculation. So if you change any of the numbers, it will change the score. And why would you use it? Is because you take the emotion out of decision making. You literally organize and prioritize your tasks and your projects based on an actual number. So I'm just going to change this back to 0.5, half a month. And the score goes back to 6,400. So this is my order. And then what you want to do is you want to include the month that you're going to start working on it, and you want to give yourself a deadline. Deadlines are very important, guys. If you don't set deadlines, there will be no end to your project. No one ever got something done by just, winging it, going at it every day and do however they feel, because again, that's when emotion kicks in, and that's when we get distracted. So you would really want to put a deadline there, and all you do is simply mark the calendar like this. You pick a date and a finish date, you allocate the month, and now you have a high-level overview of your priority list. Now, remember the calendar that I showed you in the first tool. So let's go back to that. And let me show you how, now that you have an overview, let's use the webinar as an example, right? Because it's my priority. So here we go. Here we're back to the calendar. And I already included my webinar, which is blue right here, right? Baby blue, light blue, however you want to call that color. But as you can see, I already allocated time in February to finish this. I really blocked out this time to finish this particular task. And then straight after, I moved on to another task, which was also on my scoring list, which is the second one. You see, so now you know that you want to focus on that one big project that will move 80% of your result, and you want preferably to do nothing else than to complete and pound on this dreading task. But you know that once this gets done, you made major progress. So that's really how it works. And in order to keep yourself in check, while you do this, now we have used 3 projects, but while you do this, you want to create an overview of how you are doing, right? You want to understand if you're actually sticking to your routines, if you're actually, performing, if you're actually staying consistent with the things that you said you would. Now, this is a daily performance tracker, and I also include that here because the way that I track myself is I wake up at 5 a.m. and I included my morning routines here. Why? Because they are so important for raising my energy, setting the right mindset in the morning, seize the day. So I include that here. And that is just as important, your morning rituals or your daily rituals, than to kind of schedule all your tasks in your calendar. So this daily performance tracker, you include the date, you include your wake-up time. It's very important that you want to track this because you want to see if there's inconsistencies in your own wake-up time. For example, I try to wake up at 5 a.m. every day consistently. And I have to admit, it's hard. It's really not easy. But so far, I've been doing very well for the past several months to be waking up at 5 a.m. Occasionally, you kind of hit the snooze button and I go back to old habits, right? You snooze, you lose. But the point is you want to track yourself so you can push yourself back on the right track. So let's fill this out for a quick second. So today is March 22nd. I woke up at 5 a.m. I woke up at 5 a.m. Exercise, yes, I did 1 hour in the gym this morning. I started my morning mindset out the right way. I did a little bit of meditation, 10 minutes. I read 10 pages of my current personal development book. So yes, I definitely seized my mindset right there. And my start time was sometime later today. It was at 11 a.m. because I had a early morning meeting and I got back to my desk at 11. Now, end time, obviously, at the time of recording, this is the afternoon, so I'm not filling this out yet, but usually I finish around 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. because I want to be in bed by 10 because I need 7 hours of sleep, guys. So if I want to wake up at 5 a.m., I need to catch my 7 hours. So I need to be in bed or I need to be sleeping by 10. So I go to bed at 9 and then, I read a little bit and I sleep at 10 p.m. So this is pretty much a given. This is what I do every day. And my night mindset consists of organizing my to-do for tomorrow. Am I aware of what I need to do tomorrow? Have I packed my gym bag? Am I ready to go? Is my book ready? Did I read a few more pages before sleep? Did I maybe schedule some quiet time just to think and reflect and just to relax, right? That's what I consider my night mindset. So let's fill that out. Yes. And then performance, that's your judgment call. That's really, that's not a calculation. It's really how you felt today. Usually I am at between 70 and 80%. And I definitely don't want to give myself 100% or 90%. That's what I'm working towards. I'm always giving myself room to improve, right? I always want to do better. So I'm definitely between 70 and 80% most of my days. But, we want to work towards high performance where you can consistently operate at 90%, 90 to 95%, intense focus. But, that just takes training, consistent effort, and you have to create, it has to become automatic. It really has to become a new habit of yours. So that's really how this works. And here at the bottom, tracking months and your main objectives. So as I said, consistency and output, commitment to forming habits, and honoring deadlines and goals. It's very important, guys. And as I mentioned in the other templates, this is really what matters here. If you want to become a high performer and you want to be productive and keep producing results month in, month out, this is how to do it. And once you finish tracking, the month, you can simply make a copy and copy it below and start April, right? It's that simple. Now, the last tool that I'm using, and that will be the 5th tool out of my toolbox, my 5 tools that I want to share with you today, is I created a accountability board, and I'm using a tool, and maybe some of you are familiar with that. It's called Trello. Trello is a really awesome online tool that allows you to create boards like these. This whole thing is called a board, and within the board you have lists, the one that goes vertical like these, and these little ones, the horizontal ones, are called cards. And it allows you, to give you a lot of creative freedom. And you see, you can move these around if you want. You can do so many things with them. And I'm gonna walk you through. But first of all, let me explain you real quick why I use this board right here. So I found that if you are the only one working on your projects, and many of us are, like when you are a solopreneur or you're a freelancer, or maybe you're just the CEO and working on your own projects, and you have other people, but they're working on theirs, right? It can sometimes be lonely because you have to be so self-motivated to stay on top and to make sure that you're consistently performing, at 70, 80, 90%. So what makes this journey easier, and what I highly recommend everybody to do, is to find an accountability partner, somebody that you check in with. And that's not somebody to kind of kick your butt and say, hey, have you done this? Have you done that? No, that's not what it's meant for. An accountability partner is an equal partner. It could be your business partner, could be, a mentor, a coach, or a good friend, but somebody that is willing to hold you accountable. And what I do is I have an accountability call without fail every Friday. I send in my stuff here in the board. Basically, all the information here is real time. You can literally include anybody to this board by simply inviting them. And just like those spreadsheets here, you can be working real time from within this board, so everybody can track it. And you want to send in your stuff, have your to-do list. For example, this I create list for goals for week 11. This is what I want to accomplish, and then I break them down on a daily basis. Because remember, you created here your milestones, and then you have all these little tasks, but it doesn't mean that these little tasks can be done in one day, right? Maybe that little task will be split up in other multiple little tasks. And to avoid all the clutter and break them down all here, you want to create daily to-do list. And this is how I do it. So I have a weekly goal list that I want to accomplish, and then I break those goals down into daily goals: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. Right? And you can add a due date. You see, you can add a due date. Let's say tomorrow, 12 p.m. Boom, there you go. Now you have a due date, so everybody knows that this has to be accomplished by a certain time, right? You can add labels. Let's do this. Priority, right? And you can. Oh, there you go. Right now it has a priority label. You can include new members. You see, right now I'm the only one, but I can include my accountability partner to this list. So anything I do, they will get the notifications right on their phone, or through the mail, or through the desktop notification. I can include attachments. So this is so useful, guys, and I highly recommend. This is how I work with most of my students, and how I teach clients to organize themselves as well. This is so awesome. And you see, you can just drag and drop this. You can make copies. You can create checklists. I highly recommend this. And the way that this works is I included my yearly and monthly goals in here real quick. And then I break them down into weekly to-dos. And then here's a list of habits that I want to form, because I am highly aware of the things in my behavior that are currently not serving me, and the things that I'm supposed to be doing in order to become a high performer. So I try to create new habits, like waking up consistently at 5 a.m. That's one of my habits. Reading more, increase my my reading time, all of those things. So I keep a list in here. We have a little discussion board. I hold discussions within this board with my accountability partner. We do accountability call minutes, meaning a summary, because after each call, we dial in just by phone or by Skype. But you want to assign one of you to take notes, because it's good to read back what is discussed. Because during that call, you can actually uncover a whole lot of information that might be useful towards the next week. So we make summaries of our call minutes and publish them here. And everything can be done, right within the board, guys. You don't need to use extra or external Word documents. You can just start typing out here. It's all very easy. Now, once your to-do list are done, right? Today's week 11. So let's say next week, if I organize my new to-do list, all you want to do to keep organized is you want to move them to completed, like there. Make sure that all your tasks are obviously checked off, but you move them to completed, right? And that's really how you keep your board organized, right there. And you will just create a new card called week 12, etc. Now, the final piece is the resources section. I mean, this is just personal. Anybody can put here whatever they want, but we share resources like books that we found, ebooks, video clips, any resource that you came across that would be useful to your partner. And I also keep my accountability format because I'm not sure if you guys are into journaling, but I found that journaling is very effective towards reflecting upon your progress, reflecting upon your life and the challenges that you encounter. So again, I get my education from all kinds of things like webinars, books, events, speaking to people from my coaches. So everything here, everything that you find is information that I picked up somewhere along the way, and included them in my templates. But this is working for me. So I ask myself questions like, looking at your daily to-dos this week, did you take the right actions that move your life and business forward? Right? So these really are high-level overview questions that you would just want to give yourself an honest answer. So what I do with my accountability partner, and when I sent this in on Friday, this is what I mean. I make a summary of these questions. I just drop it here in the comment section, and I tag my partner, and I make sure that before we have the call, I dropped it in there. And then while we jump on the call, usually through just a phone call or by Skype, she or he will simply open up the card and then go over my answers and simply ask me questions about this. Like, did you eat healthy food? And did you have at least 45 to 60 minutes of intense exercise daily? You said yes. So explain me, for example, what is it that you did, and what do you mean by healthy food, right? Because it's not enough to just simply answer a question. You really want to reflect upon it and kind of figure out, what motivates you, and why did you succeed or why did you fail? And it's important that you're honest and open to your partner, because your partner is not there to kick your butt and tell you you didn't do your work. No, that's not the purpose of accountability. Accountability is to hold you accountable and simply asking you, you said you would do a certain thing and you haven't. What happened? I want to help you discover, why is it that you didn't manage to complete this task? Or why haven't you, exercise intensely for 60 minutes every day, right? I think you get the point. So that's how accountability comes into play. And that really, for me, completes my productivity tool set. I have my high-level overview calendar. I have my project battle plan template where I determine my milestones, goals, and to-dos. I have my RISE project scoring template where I take the emotion out of decision making and prioritize my tasks based on the number. And then I have my daily performance tracker where I really measure my output and how consistent I am on a daily basis. And if I notice that I see inconsistencies in my own performance, then it's my job to correct it or to discuss it with my accountability partner and figure out a way that I can stay on track. And ultimately, by the end of every week, I use my accountability board so I can, share my wins, my successes, my failures throughout the week, and the things that I've learned in order to use that towards my own advantage the next week. So I hope this makes sense, guys. And what I will do for you is I will include a link to each and every single template below the video somewhere in the description box. So you can just grab a copy and, adjust the template, make it yours. I am happy to share this with you. And if there's anything missing, if you have certain productivity templates that are working for you that I didn't cover today, just also leave me a comment in the subscription box. Let me know what you're using, or let me know if you have any questions regarding these templates that are discussed today, and hopefully this will help you out, guys. So this summarizes this video about my 5 productivity tools. This is how I stay focused and organized, and this is how I track my performance and how I review my progress made with my accountability partner. So I hope this helps, and I see you guys in the next video.